Some heroes have superpowers. Some heroes are big and strong. Annie Marmalade's power is to turn anything she touches into a dessert. Now, how cool a power is that? So I got a question for you guys. If you have the ability to turn anything into a dessert, what would you turn it into? What is that? Your mom's brownies? They must be really good. What about you? A cake. That's great. What about you? A root beer float. Very good.
Big chocolate mousse.
Cheesecake. What about you guys? What would you do? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And what about you? Cake. Yeah. So with Annie, what's so great about Annie is that she doesn't think that she's a hero. She just feels like, I'm just a little girl that has this ability. But her specialty is that when her child is in peril, when it's in trouble, when they need someone to save them, only Annie has the power to save them. There's something called the Ranji crystal. Now, what's so special about the Ranji crystal is it's a crystal that allows people to know if you're telling the truth or telling a lie. Now, you guys, you four have been very special because you actually get to have your own Ranji crystal. You have to be patient because this could get bright. Now, this comes from the land of Good Haven, and you must open it and put it on your ring, on your finger. Because I'm not a chef, but I know one important aspect of being a chef. One is creativity, and another is always making sure you tell the truth. So put the Ranji crystal on your finger. There you go. Okay, be careful. It's very powerful. Now, what else the Ranji crystal does is it keeps the giants away. So in Annie Marmalade's land of Good Haven, there are these dark mountains that giants live in. Yours. Okay. Okay, be careful. Oh, that's not you. How did you get? That's not the Ranji crystal. You must have got the bad one. Yeah. This is the mother crystal. Yeah, that's not the right one. This one's right. So it has the ability to know if you're telling the truth. It'll glow brightly if you're not telling the truth. So you gotta always remember to tell the truth, okay? So the great thing about Annie Marmalade is she doesn't just turn things into great desserts. She may touch this shirt and turn it into a great dessert. But there's something special that she does when she does change these items. So what I want you to do, because I'm going to read a little bit from the story, okay? A couple of pages. You like it? What you have to do is, when Annie Marmalade, and everybody, I need you guys to stand up. Parents too. I need you guys to stand up. Now when Annie Marmalade turns something into a dessert, she closes her eyes. So everybody close your eyes. She balls up her fist. So everybody ball up your fist. And then she starts to shimmy and shake real hard. Okay? That's what Annie does when it comes time for her to turn something into dessert. So when I'm reading and when it's time for Annie to use her special ability, I want you guys to do that, okay? Let's try it one more time. Close your eyes, ball your fists, and shimmy and shake. There you go. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit for you so you guys know exactly how great it is to be Annie Marmalade. You guys can have your seat. Remember, you hold the crystal in your hand. You have been chosen. Okay. So what this part is, Annie Marmalade and Prince Marion. Prince Marion was given the duty to bring back the Ranji crystal that was stolen from the giant, stolen by the giants. So her and Annie Marmalade and Prince Marion are going into the mountains of Gabor to retrieve the crystal. I'm going to read a little bit so you know what's going on in the story. Prince Marion and Annie Marmalade entered the room. Dingy rock walls surrounded the two. "What smells in here?" asked Annie. "I don't know. Whatever it is, it hasn't been gone long. See those bones in the corner of the room? They still have meat on them." Prince Marion heard a noise. "We need to move quickly." They crept towards the door on the far side of the room. As they moved closer, the door swung open. Two giants walked into the room. They moved near Annie and Prince Marmalade. "Maybe we should turn around." As they backed towards the entrance, a third giant entered the door and stood behind them. Now 3 giants surrounded Annie and Prince Marmalade. They did not speak, only grunting and growling, looking at one another. The giants gave each one a wry smile. Moving slowly around the room, they surrounded the 2 intruders. "Well, now we know what stinks. These giants need bath time." "Maybe we shouldn't have taken this way," said Prince Marion. "Do something, Prince Marion." Prince Marion gently walked towards the giants. Excuse me, giants? If we could just slide through, we'll leave you to your grunting and your pillaging or whatever you do." He grabbed Annie's hand, trying to pull her past the 2 giants. The giants closed the gap between them. Their arms were folded and they shook their heads. "Oh yeah, Prince Marion, what a plan. That'll get us past them. Just ask them to move. I should have thought of that." "I guess we'll have to fight." The prince drew his sword. His hands trembled as his sword swayed back and forth. Prince Marion was a scared cat. One giant grabbed a large bone, pounding it against his palm. Annie stepped in front of the prince. She reached into her pocket and pulled 3 pieces of candy out of her apron. Now these were soft pieces of candy. Annie tossed them in front of the giants. She closed her eyes. What are we going to do? She balled her fist. And she started to shimmy and shake. Before the giant's eyes, the candy turned into 3 large red bears. But these were different than ordinary bears. The giants could faintly see through their red bodies. Prince Marion turned to Annie. "They're gummy bears, Prince Marion." The confused giants backed away from Annie and the prince. They pressed their backs against the wall. The first gummy bear ran towards the giant, clubbing him with his paw. All the